Alright guys, we're back working on the Bronco again. I'm just getting ready to get this engine in the Bronco. I'm just going to take it off the stand and then put the flywheel and clutch on it, and then it's ready to go in. I'm going to walk you guys through everything we got done off of camera so you're kind of up to date and know where we're at. So let's do that now. Alright guys, we're in the parts ranger here and you can see it is pretty torn apart. Whole dash is out of it, steering column's out of it. Austin was over for a couple days. He got tons done. He ripped the whole pedal assembly for the clutch and brake out of this thing. And basically how it works is it was on this aluminum case here. And there's a rod that goes between here, and the brake and clutch sit on that. And so we had to take this whole case out because you can't get the rod out when it's in there. And then we realized that the one on the Bronco was actually different and a lot narrower here. So we had to basically cut down the shafts and the rod and everything to make it work for the other case that goes into the Bronco. I'll show you guys that now. All right, we're over on the Bronco here. You can see the pedal assemblies in here. But basically, if I look up here, you can see the rod. Let me get a good angle. The rod that the clutch and brake are sitting on. There's the brake pedal and then there's the clutch pedal. And so we had to basically customize all that to fit on this casing for the Bronco. But the nice thing was it already had a bracket over the hole for the clutch and a couple other little things that really helped us out with the swap, so it made it a lot easier. But Austin and I got that done. Let me show you guys what else I got done. Cleaned up all the wiring here, got this power bar set in here. There was all this aftermarket wiring that was just everywhere. I cleaned it up in that loom. It's not still not the cleanest, but I basically just cleaned everything up. I didn't really change much other than putting a few circuits on that power bar there. So, other than that, oh yeah, the other thing was Austin did door seals. We pulled the Bronco out, cleaned the whole engine bay and everything, pressure washed it, and realized that the door seals were leaking, so that was a big contribution to why this thing was filling with water and growing mushrooms in it. So we took the ones out of the Ranger and they're in a lot better shape, so hopefully that fixes that issue. We also need a windshield as well. But yeah, so like I said, we basically pressure washed the whole engine bay, cleaned it up. I wasn't able to use the harness out of the Ranger, but I was able to use sections out of it, and then I just cleaned this one up a bit in a few places. But it'll be good enough. So anyways, I'm gonna stop chit-chatting and we're going to get to work on getting this engine in. All right guys, Austin's here. We're just about to go in. We put a rear main seal in, put the flywheel on, clutch. Nice die grinder finish on the pressure plate and flex plate, or flywheel. And we're gonna put the engine in now. So we're gonna do a time lapse on that and I'll keep you guys updated as we go. All right guys, we got the engine in here. I know it's sacked out right now, but got the engine in. We just bolted the transmission in, 2 bolts on it, and the jack sitting in there, cross member's gonna line right up, so we just gotta basically blast everything in, and then we're gonna put the starter in, fill it with oil, and then crank it over slowly, and then we can set the valves once those lifters are full of oil. But we're moving along pretty good. Come around, Mo's gonna clip underneath here. We got the 5-speed in here. It's on the jack still, looking pretty good. Looks like that's gonna be close. We might have to cut back in the floor a bit, but we'll make it work. Once this is up though, the tranny's gonna come up almost another foot, 8 inches or so. That might come forward quite a bit more, we'll see. Good, yeah, she's looking pretty good. Drive shaft's gonna work perfect. Look at that, hey? Yeah, sweet. Yeah, it's gonna bolt right up. Yeah, sweet, good shit. All right guys, we're back the next day here, and we tried cranking the engine over last night, but wasn't getting, the starter wasn't wanting to turn. It was clicking the solenoid. So what we're thinking is, because of all the fresh paint and everything and nothing's hooked up, the starter's not grounding back to the batteries. So I'm gonna run we need a ground strap on this thing anyways. We don't have a ground strap on it, so I'm gonna run a ground strap from the frame down there right to the bolt that goes to the starter, right onto the bell housing. So then it's an engine ground and it's really close to the starter. So once we do that, she should crank over and then we can set her valves and whatnot. While I'm doing that, Austin is working on getting this power steering bracket in and just putting more accessories and whatnot on. Just picking away at it. So yeah, we're gonna get to work here and keep on going.
Easy peasy.
Yeah. All right guys, We're here ready to crank the engine. I've already cranked it a couple times. Put the ground strap on, it's cranking nice. Just getting the lifters full of oil. And then I'm gonna take the valve covers off and set the valves. Listen to her crank, she's cranking nice. Anyways, so I'm going to pop the valve covers off now, set the valves. Joe just set up this mint stand for our shop rules, our concrete shop rules. So that's pretty sick. Anyways, we're gonna keep picking away here. Mose, show them what you're doing.
Oh, what am I doing here? Let's see. Working on the shifter.
That means four-wheel shifter in there.
The four-wheel shifter in. I got the plate in. I had to cut it out a bit more.
And then we got the 5-speed shifter in, and it's shifting mint. Doesn't hit anywhere on the floor. The only place it contacts a little bit is the switch for the winch, in like reverse and fourth. But we'll move that a little bit or something. We'll figure something out.
Yep.
But other than that, it's mint.
Not too bad.
All right, guys, working on the Bronco again tonight. Austin's here, working on getting the exhaust in. Looks like we're gonna have to drop the transmission cross member again, so we're gonna do that and throw the exhaust in.
Yeah. God damn it.
Yeah. Filled up.
Not bad.
Okay, so got that socket, Mose?
Yeah. Exhaust is almost in.
Start over.
Tyler drove me in the thumb with the socket. Full throttle. It's looking not too bad.
One bolt's cross-threaded so far out of 4. That's pretty good.
Yep, not too bad.
Just getting them ugga-dugga in here. About 85 ugga-duggas on these is pretty good.
Yep.
I mean, you can whine all day about over torque and stuff, but I mean, the question is it gonna leak or is it not gonna leak?
It won't leak.
Might crack the header. We can weld that. All right, guys, back out working on the Bronco again. Austin and I got the exhaust done the other night. You can see downpipes that are in, cats, muffler, and then out the back there's a tailpipe that ends right here. So I still have to make it go. I'll probably have to cut it in a bit less of an angle because I think it goes into the skid plate a bit right now. But that's okay, we can just buck it straighter. And then basically I just have to run it. I want to run it all the way out the back, right onto this hanger, and just have it dump like right out here by this hitch because then it's nice and protected. So, rust. God, need some body work. Anyway, so I'm not going to do that today, obviously. I'm just going to leave that for now. That's kind of something that is just if we have time. Right now, I'm going to get everything done in the engine bay. So basically, get this thing ready to fire up and get it running. So put the rad in, put the intake on, hook up the electrical connectors, finish the wiring harness up. I got to, all the injectors are hooked up. What else do I have to do? Oh yeah, spark plug leads. I gotta get a new spark plug lead. And then once we start it, we gotta set the timing. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. Put the rest of the accessories on, the belts and whatnot, the fan. Just random little things. So let's get to work on this thing and get this thing running. Oh. Alright guys, so just got everything back together here. Just kind of got it set up to start, hopefully. There's a few connectors that are still disconnected. Can't really figure out where they go, but we'll see if it... there was a few that were disconnected when I even started tearing it apart too, so... we'll see. We'll crank it and see if we missed something, see if something's disconnected still. But got engine oil in it, coolant, got the timing light there ready to rip. Check the ignition timing right as it starts. So yeah, anyways, let's give it a crank, see what happens. All right, guys, just started priming fuel here, and we have a leak coming out of the fitting on that little regulator there. There's a fitting in there, but you can't really see it. But anyways, fuel leak down in there, gotta fix that, and then we'll try again. All right, guys, we're in the engine bay here. Had a few issues. I tried starting it earlier, and as soon as I turned the key on, had a bunch of fuel leaking out of this. I think I showed them on this already, but this fuel pressure regulator here, and took quite a few tries to get that fixed, but we got it somewhat sealed now. It's not pissing everywhere anymore, at least. So I can get some new seals for that though. And then I tried to start it and nothing. Then realized I had a connector mixed up on, because I swapped harnesses around. Hooked up the correct connector to the distributor for ignition, and it started kind of backfiring out the intake a little bit, puff, and then all of a sudden, bang, as loud as a shotgun out the exhaust. I'm like, oh God. And so immediately I thought the timing was way out, probably 180 degrees out, right? So I put the cylinder number 1 on compression, TDC on compression, pulled the distributor out. Sure enough, 180 degrees out. The rotor was pointing this way. Spark plug lead number 1's right here, so you want your rotor pointing right at your spark plug lead number 1, and it was pointing this way, so 180 degrees out. So we fixed that, and I'm just putting the distributor back on now, and we're gonna hopefully get it to start, and then we can set our timing perfectly. But I'll just leave this bolt loose, so then you can just give it a twist, get the timing set. But yeah, we're gonna get this buttoned up here, and then we'll see if we can get it started.
Yep. All right.
Jordan's Jeep's on the road.
Finally.
Little test rip.
Yeah.
Got the whole crew.
It's absolutely terrifying.
She's a ripper. Alright guys, so we're back out in the shop again tonight. Back working on the Bronco. Basically, last time we were out, we had it running last weekend, and we had a bit of an issue. That front crank seal that would go in that timing cover there, and then the crank goes over it, front crankshaft seal, or front main seal, basically was dripping engine oil. You can see engine oil there on the ground and all over the chassis. She was leaking pretty bad, so what I got was actually this crank shaft repair sleeve here. See a little dimple on there, I gotta fix that. But basically it's just this sleeve that goes around the crankshaft, and then I have the seal over top of it there. I did put a little bit of silicone on the outside of it. And basically this refreshes the crank, because this seal over time will actually wear a groove in it, and there was a groove in it. That's why it was leaking. So I put this sleeve on it, and then yeah, I just put the seal on there to show you guys basically what it does, right? So we're gonna put that crank pulley in now, and then we'll fire it up, and hopefully it doesn't leak anymore. I'll check in with you guys in a bit. All right, guys, we got it running mid now. It took a while. We've been at it for a few weeks, but she's running like a top. We freaking went through everything and narrowed it down to the valves for staying open a little bit. I had to reset the valves. I set them when they weren't full of oil enough, the lifters, and the lifters were a little soft, so the valve set was completely off. Now she's running mid. We're gonna take her for a drive. Fuck yeah, those. Sick. So we're gonna clean up, take her for a rip, and we'll check back into the gas. we should have done a clutch, but I mean, she's shifting through gears. She's not slipping. Oh yeah, it's going real good. Liking it. She's running great. Check engine light flash on. We're gonna scan it, see what that is, but she's running good, so that's a good sign.
Beautiful.
Alright guys, we just got back from a little wheel there with the Bronco and a few other rigs. Bronco seems to be running pretty good. Transmission's working pretty well. Synchros 3rd and 4th are a little rough. They're kind of making some noise, so we might need to do a rebuild in the near future on the transmission, but we'll see. Jordan's Jeep seems to be running good. Same with Lane's 4Runner, so that's good. Jordan's got the 350 Chev in there now. We'll show you guys their rigs soon, but and kind of give you a walk around on them and whatnot. But soon we're going to do a 4-wheeling video, hopefully next video. If not, it's either going to be that or the Mustang, building a 500 horsepower Mustang this year, so that'll be pretty sweet. But yeah, we're going to do hopefully strict 4-wheeling video super soon, so stay tuned for that. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.